It's Teresa from Life Beyond Diabetes, and I am outside today enjoying the gorgeous weather that we are having here right now. And I hope you can hear me. There's a helicopter flying over, so wait for that to pass. Um, in North America, in Canada and the US, next week is a huge week, normally, under normal circumstances, for national celebrations, with Canada Day happening on July 1st and US Independence Day, which we hardly ever call Independence Day, but the 4th of July. And those are, for both of our countries, big picnic days. And for people with diabetes, they tend to be days that aren't necessarily looked forward to with a lot of excitement because they tend to mean navigating an event that revolves around food for a lot of people. And that can be really uncomfortable and anxiety provoking. And I want to talk about that a little bit today and tell you how I've navigated that. And I don't think it needs to be something that brings up a lot of anxiety. This is something we're living with for the rest of our lives. So let's figure out how to make it through this without it being an uncomfortable situation. Um, so there's three different kinds of ways that picnics like this, any big occasion, works when that involves food. One is you're in charge of the food. Another one is that it's potluck, so everybody contributes. And the third one is that you just show up and what's there is what's available. Um, so when you're in charge of the food, you have a lot of control. Now, there are certain expectations, there are certain things that people expect when they're showing up for a picnic, but you have a lot more control to make sure that there's food there that's appropriate for you to eat. Um, so when it's potluck, you also have some control in that you can make sure that you're bringing food that's going to be appropriate for you to eat, and then you can maybe try some of the other food. You have less control when you're just showing up and the host um, is providing all the food. So I'm going to talk about the first two situations first. So one, people at picnics generally are expecting burgers and hot dogs or some kind of barbecue. So if you're going to go with the traditional burgers and hot dogs, um, the biggest place that carbs come into play when you're dealing with burgers and hot dogs is in the buns. And you can just completely ditch the buns. You can go with lettuce wraps if you want. And if you're going to do a lettuce wrap, I really recommend that you do get some high quality lettuce. So if you like a crunch, get some really good iceberg lettuce. Or if you like just a nice good lettuce, pick some um, get some butter lettuce that's just a nice lettuce. Don't go with cheap lettuce that feels slimy. Get something good so you can really enjoy that lettuce wrap. And also the other thing too, so you don't feel cheated, get some really good toppings for your burgers and hot dogs. And I'll tell you, I don't like to put lettuce wraps on mine. I like them just plain with the toppings, and I just eat them usually with a fork. Um, and I don't miss the bun because I'm just enjoying the barbecue burger, and its toppings. Um, so that's one of the things that is an option. The other thing is that if you're barbecuing, you don't even need to go with burgers. You could do something completely different. A lot of people like ribs, and I would suggest if you're going to have barbecued ribs, really watch out for the barbecue sauce. One way that you can really reduce the sugar is going with either a sugar-free barbecue sauce or doing a rub instead of a sauce. Um, so that is one place you need to watch out for sugar, though, if you're having ribs, is that there can be a lot of sugar in the sauce. Um, but also barbecue chicken, steaks, there's a lot of ways that you can barbecue that don't involve sugar. So that covers what you're going to throw on the barbecue if you're hosting. Um, if another thing people really like at picnics is pasta salad. Um, and I think it's possible to have a pasta salad that's not really got very much pasta in it. You can put all the ingredients that you would normally put in your pasta salad and just double up on the other ingredients besides the pasta and cut way back on how much pasta is in there. So one thing that I like to do is basically a Greek salad: cucumbers, feta, artichoke hearts, tomatoes, onions, bell peppers, and then I would just toss in a little bit of pasta. So you still get that texture and the taste of the pasta, but it's mostly just a salad with pasta instead of having pasta be the focus of the salad. And honestly, I've done this before and hardly anybody notices that there's mostly not very much pasta in the pasta salad. Another thing that people love that is tends to be full of sugar, baked beans. And you can substitute the baked beans for a three bean salad. And I will tell you, I'm not a bean fan, so I don't really know how to do this, but a good friend of mine has a three bean salad recipe that she's going to provide me later today. So I will include a recipe for that three bean salad later today in the comments. So that is another option. You can substitute, you can get rid of the baked beans completely. Baked beans tend to be full of a lot of hidden sugar. And the one other thing that people ask me about is, what about the alcohol? You know, I want to. We always have beer at our summer picnics. So beer, huge place where we find a lot of carbs. If you want to have alcohol during your picnic, I highly recommend that beer not be the alcohol of choice for people with diabetes. Um, so liquor has all the sugar is fermented out. So if you want to drink alcohol, I recommend that you drink liquor. Wine has got less carbs in it than beer. But and again, all of this in moderation, of course. And I'm not necessarily recommending that you're drinking alcohol, but if you do choose to drink alcohol, steer away from the beer. Um, so you could do a gin and diet tonic. You could do a rum and diet Coke. You could do vodka soda, or you could just do seltzer water. You wouldn't have to go the alcoholic direction. Seltzer water, unsweetened iced tea. There's plenty of beverages that you can have that aren't beer. But if you really, want that, this part of the picnic, this is what we do in the summer, choose one of those refreshing summer beverages that's not beer. Um, so those are the things. And then when it's pot, so when you're in charge of the food, you can kind of have control over that. When it's potluck, you can choose to bring things that are going to be right for you to eat. So, um, you can bring a pasta salad that's mostly salad and not pasta. You can bring a three bean salad. You can bring, when they say bring your protein, because we're going to share protein, bring some steaks, bring some salmon, bring something that's not a hamburger to throw on the grill. Um, there's a lot of different things that you can contribute that would be absolutely appropriate for you to eat and enjoy in a picnic that other people would enjoy as well. And then you also need to know what your triggers are. So when you're looking around at the other things that people have brought, you don't want to feel deprived. But if for you, like for me, potato chips, I can't eat potato chips because I know that if I eat potato chips, I have a hard time stopping at one. There's no one can eat just one, that commercial. It's it's a tagline because it's true. If I eat a potato chip, I'm not going to stop eating potato chips. So I just don't start eating potato chips. Know that about yourself. Know if there's potato chips, if you can eat one or two, fine, eat one or two. If you're going to be eating them and continue eating them, just know that about yourself and bypass that. Um, so those are things to think about when you're at a potluck. Bring something that you can eat that's going to be healthy for you and really enjoyable and honestly not look like you're bringing healthy food. And then and then when you're choosing other food, make sure that it's something that you can stop if it's not something that would be that you would normally eat, or that it's something that really fits well in with the way that you would normally eat for your diabetes. Now, the place that it gets really complicated is when you show up at the picnic because you've been invited and you're not in charge of the food. So, what do you do then? Well, the first suggestion I have is that you need to make best choices. Survey the landscape and figure out, what can I do? Generally, at a picnic, there are some choices. Generally, there's going to be a protein that's barbecued. You can pick the carbs out and you can probably eat some of that protein. Generally, there's going to be some kind of a salad. You can eat some of that. You can also eat ahead of time, so that you come not very hungry and you can really focus on enjoying the people that you're with. And you can also plan to have some snacks afterward. Of course, you want to be a good guest, and you probably don't want to be packing along your own food saying, no, no, thank you. I don't like your food. I can't eat your food. It's not good for me. You know, there's ways that you can be um, that you can partake in what everybody else is partaking in while you're watching out for your health. So, um, but what it comes down to when you are not in charge of the food is making best choices for yourself, because you still are in charge of what you put into your body, and you get to choose which of those things you want to eat and which you don't. And again, this is one of those places where you need to decide which thing you're going to eat that you can stop eating, and which thing is going to trigger you to keep eating and eating and eating. So, um, and those are some brief suggestions on dealing with the summer picnics that under normal circumstances would be really kicking off this year. Probably a little, I think they'll still be happening, just smaller than in the past, due to the pandemic. Um, and I just really want to briefly mention again, my workshop that I've got coming up next Tuesday on the 30th, so right before the summer picnics kick off. Um, and that's what we'll be talking about, is how to continue living your life, strategies for attending events like this, for looking at the recipes that you have, things that are important to your family traditions, and looking at the diabetes nutritional guidelines and adapting them to ways that you can hold on to those traditions, hold on to the things that you love to do in your normal life, everyday life, and continue living a fantastic life, going to the picnics, going to Thanksgiving dinner, going out to eat with your friends and family, and not feeling like your disease is the most prominent thing, because you can do that. And that's what living with diabetes is. And that's why I call it life beyond diabetes, because you are beyond diabetes. I don't want you to be stuck with diabetes as your defining thing. So I'd love for you to join me at my workshop next Tuesday on the 30th, at 10 a.m. Pacific time. I will put a link to that again in the description for this, and make some comments. If you have any questions, let me know, and I will see you back here again next Thursday, and hopefully I'll see you on my workshop on Tuesday. Thanks. Bye.